at some point from the PR agency into the recognizing that you're a bit more of a B2B as opposed to B2 to C, you made a transition into aviation.
Yeah.
How did that come about, and was it difficult or easy to move into this industry with all its complexities?
How it came about, really randomly. I got my predecessor, the head of comms at that time for Airbus, got in touch with me through, I think it was through LinkedIn, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
And she seen my profile, and she just really said, we should connect. I like your profile. I may have a position coming up, and and it took months actually of conversations, of eventually having something that may come up. And at that time I wasn't really looking for a change. And then one thing led to the other, and ended up interviewing and then moving to Airbus.
Okay.
Was it difficult? No, I would say no. The first reason being is that I don't know how it is for other industries, or at least I haven't worked as long in other industries than I've worked in aviation. And I don't know if you would agree, but I feel like aviation or aerospace in general, people are really passionate about what they do. It's, again, probably exists elsewhere, but I feel like people are very passionate about the industry, about the product. Not almost, but almost everyone is a bit of a geek.
To an extent.
Yeah.
I would not disagree with you at all.
Yeah.
In fact, my observation through the different companies that I've worked for is when there have been people that have transitioned into aviation from other industries, they very rarely leave. They tend to stay on.
True.
And I think there's something almost romantic about aviation.
I think that's the right word.
Like if you look at the statistics of the number of airlines that fail relative to the number of airlines that start, you'd expect that there would be far fewer people wanting to start airlines. But people are still, the other one failed, but this one will work.
This one will make it, yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah, so I think there's still an element of romanticism around being able to be involved in the industry that makes people fly.
I think romanticism is the right word, because I feel also that it also comes from a place where it's still a very fascinating industry, but product. I know that flying is common now, and it's considered as an everyday kind of a life. For not as many people as it should be, but it is still really a minority of people being able just to hop on a aircraft and then fly the world. So it's still very much a privilege, at least I see it that way. But regardless of how much knowledge you have of the industry of of aircraft and aviation, I think we're still very much at awe still when we see an aircraft flying. I mean, honestly, it happens to me every day. I catch myself sometimes being on a flight and then landing on the other side of the world, and I'm like, I was on the other side of the world just a few hours ago. That's absolutely madness if you think of it. And we take it for granted because it's accessible, but it's still magic.
Agreed. There's a comedian that I quite like, an American comedian.
Yeah.
And he was once being interviewed, and he's saying everything in the world is really great and people are not happy. It's like he was talking about someone who was complaining about Wi-Fi or the lack of Wi-Fi on a flight from the east coast of the US to the west coast. And the guy's like, give it a second, the signal is going to space and coming back. And in the past, the journey that you're taking in 5 or 6 hours would have been 20 years, and it's like you would have been an entirely different group of people.
Absolutely.
By the time you got to the end. So I find the same fascination.
So it wasn't difficult because of that, because of the people around were very passionate and very willing to share and to transfer all their knowledge, but also their passion. So it hasn't been difficult because it was contagious.
Okay.
It's been a fairly easy and exciting transition, to be honest.